Hi, I'm Cliff Eschbach.
And I'm Jean Glennon.
And it's great to have you along for the 20th annual Lancaster City County Loyalty Day Parade. Also with us today is Action News reporter Brad Satin. He'll be roaming up and down the street getting some interviews with us. Just a fabulous day today, Jean.
It is a beautiful day out today, Cliff, and we're glad to have you joining us. We plan to have an awfully good time today, and we hope you all at home will too. So with no time to be wasted, we're going to go right into the 20th edition of the Lancaster City and County Loyalty Day Parade.
Beginning right now, Wilson's Driving School, coming through right now with a 300-pound Liberty Bell made in Sheffield, England. Wilson's Driving School providing part of the coverage of the Lancaster Loyalty Day Parade today. Right behind them, a nice familiar pair of guys, Scott Bradley and Jim Hoffer, the Action News anchor team,
and
riding in the news car. Jim and Scott having a good time today. I hope they don't get too deaf behind the 300-pound Liberty Bell.
I'm sure they're hearing the clang. That's Scott Bradley's wife in the back seat. They're along for the ride.
Karen is along, and there was a WLYH-TV commercial van with program manager Bob Patterson, and of course,
the Philly Fanatic
and the Philadelphia Phillies, Philly Fanatic, hopping in the production van. The Philly Fanatic, part of the event of your exclusive Philly station here in the Heartland, WLYH-TV 15. Great to have the Fanatic along today. Coming up next on Orange Street, the McCaskey High School Band, directed by Donald Reed. The 70 musicians, 16 band front and a drum major. They performed for President Reagan and Vice President Bush. And let's take a second and listen to the McCaskey High School Band. And they ended just as they got drum cadence time for the McCaskey Band. This year they purchased new parade equipment. And you can see some of that equipment in use today during the Loyalty Day Parade.
Takes you back a few years, doesn't it?
Those drum cadences are always the loudest thing in the parade.
I think they're just testing our hearing. Boy, they're awfully good. And I believe here we have the flag corps.
Following the McCaskey Band, the Lancaster Auto Club School Safety Program, promoting boating safety, especially children with life jackets. And they also have boat examinations at the Lancaster Auto Club School Safety Program. 569-7352. 569-7352 is their phone number for the Lancaster Auto Club School Safety Program.
And you have a couple school crossing guards there leading the way. Appropriately done. And here are some very attractive ladies. Miss Dauphin County Hemisphere, Linda Rainier.
These are the winners of the Hemisphere Pageant, American International winners. From Wrightsville, Pennsylvania, Glenda Gross is the pageant director. And some of the girls are Amanda Richardson, Sue Gardenia, Linda Rainier, Tina Broderick, Josie Puckett, Sherry Carruthers, Gloria Meister, Brittany and Lindsay Bunting, Colby and Chase Fry. Part of the Lancaster Loyalty Day Parade cannot be broadcasted without the help of Townhouse Interiors here at the corner of West Orange and North Mulberry Street, and we thank Townhouse Interiors for their help in providing coverage of today's Loyalty Day Parade.
And don't hesitate to stop in for browsing Tuesday through Saturday. They have some beautiful things inside there. And here's the Little Miss Central PA, Tanya Michelle Hess. She's the American International Girl, sponsored by Ken Automobile in Mannheim.
Right behind her is the Penn Manor High School Marching Band. Mr. Steve Bowman is the director of Penn Manor's band. They competed in the Cavalcade of Bands on the field, finished third this year in the Liberty Conference. Last July, they traveled to Washington. They helped to represent Pennsylvania for the 200th anniversary of the Constitution. And hopefully this year, they say they're hoping to purchase new percussion equipment for their drum line. Here's the Penn Manor High School Band.
Different than the McCaskey.
High School Band. BPO Elks, number 134 of Columbia. They were incorporated in 1907, and they cooperate with local business and social organizations in maintaining the values which have made Elkton synonymous with patriotism and morality. Over about 1,200 members. We have their color guard and some of the other dignitaries. They were asked to participate in the Columbia Bicentennial Parade, and we'll be seeing their float in just a moment as the dignitaries of the Elks number 134 are passing by our location at this time.
I believe that's a cerebral palsy car. It belongs to the Elks Club. They have a total of 22 cars. A nurse takes these cars around to help people who may need assistance.
And there's one. There's the car right there.
Boy, if they are decked out for the Loyalty Day Parade, I don't know who is.
That's for sure. They certainly personify the theme of the Loyalty Day Parade. And this was the float that they used in the Columbia Bicentennial Parade. We'd also like to mention at this point that we'd like to thank Moore's Building Supply of Cleona on West Penn Avenue for providing the boom truck that you're getting the overhead shots on camera 4 with our guy Steve Metzger up there braving the height down the street today. And there's the shot from Steve in camera 4, doing a great job. More of the Elks from Hanover, lodge number 763, and their color guard passing by at this time, followed by the Elks from Carlisle.
Boy, they have a whole slew of Corvettes carrying these gentlemen along. The past state president, Bill Henry, South Central president, the leading knight, Paul Adams, and exalted ruler, Owen Meals.
Certainly are eye-catching cars, and the Elks have done a great job with this parade over 20 years, not just here in Lancaster, but the support they receive statewide for their parade here in Lancaster is just fabulous.
They do an awful lot of good work there. And here is the Cub Pack from Lancaster, pack number 79. Andrew Musselman's the leader there. They have their meetings at the Christ Lutheran Church in Lafayette Street in Lancaster every Tuesday night. The boys are planning a trip to Dutch Wonderland sometime in the near future. They donate fruit and help make fruit baskets for long retirement homes. The Cub Scout Pack 79, Christ Lutheran Church. And if you can hear that in the background, that's the West End Ambulance, but right before we have Sleepy Bear.
Sleepy Bear.
He's the logo for the lodge, the Lancaster Travel Lodge, and he has been for the past 30 years.
The Sleepy Bear is wide awake today.
Ah, there he is.
One of the favorites, of course.
And as you can hear, the West End Ambulance is here.
Robert Dowland's the leader and Bob Broom president. They began in 1973. Last year, they had the largest call volume in Lancaster County, over 5,300 calls last year. They have 4 ambulances, all volunteer, and now they have 12 paid staff, 140 personnel. We'll be back with more of the Lancaster Loyalty Day Parade following these messages.
There's only one radio station in central Pennsylvania that gives you 4 country favorites in a row, hour after hour. It's Z107 at 106.7.
Brought to you in part by Wolf Ford.
Here with Adrienne Romano from, she's the Miss South Central Pennsylvania. Do you make a lot of appearances like this?
Yes, I make mostly parades, and I do publicity for Park City.
And it's got to be great to have weather conditions like this as well.
It's good. I was hoping that it wouldn't rain because I rust in this and it would take forever to get out. So we're glad for the good weather.
Okay, well, have a good trip. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
We're here, back upstairs.
He's enjoying himself out there. Here's the Martickville Middle School Band from Peckway, Pennsylvania.
75 members, 7th and 8th graders, and this is the 2nd year they've been involved with this parade. have the middle school contingent there. Now coming up next is Cindy's School of Baton. Cynthia Yeagman-Eshelman is their leader. This organization began in 1970 with just a handful of students. Now they have 50 students, ages 6 to 16.
They train these girls for high school and college twirling. All the girls that you see there on all the Rose Bowl games, all that are out during halftime, these are the kind of schools they're trained in.
We should like to mention that Cindy's School of Baton in Leola is also one of the sponsors helping to bring you this portion of the Lancaster Loyalty Day Parade. We certainly thank Cindy's School of Baton in Leola for their help in providing us the help to do the coverage this afternoon.
And here you see some tiny twirlers. Cindy's School of Baton.
Yep,
Thank
twirlers
you.
did a great job today. Once again, thank you for joining us for this 20th annual Lancaster City County Loyalty Day Parade. We're having a wonderful day, and we have a lot of people, a lot of parade yet to go, so we'd like to bring you more of that right now. We're going to begin this next portion of the parade. Coming past our location was Brownie Troop 408 from Conestoga, 20 girls in this organization. Lancaster Chapter 292, the National Sojourners, Masonic Order, men who were commissioned officers in the military.
There's the Bible College, Lancaster
Bible College. Lancaster Bible College is also one of the sponsors for Channel 15's coverage of the Lancaster Loyalty Day Parade.
And here you see the S. June Smith Center vans. There are 6 vans in total. There are only 5 of them here. It was founded in 1965 by S. June Smith. They're celebrating 23 years of service and providing intensive personalized preparation and therapy for youngsters from birth to age 5. They're right now serving 120 families, and there are no fees for their services provided. They depend on a lot of community support, and they do need your help. They do a lot of good work in the community. They help the families and the children make the most.
Next is Medic 1 of St. Joseph Hospital. Medic 1 is an advanced life support unit, goes out on those critical calls that need specialized emergency medical care. St. Joseph purchased their first mobile intensive care unit in 1973. It was the first in the county, and at that time was only the 4th in the country. They have 2 paramedics and 1 specially trained registered nurse to provide patients side treatment care 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. We'd like to mention at this point that part of Channel 15's coverage of the Lancaster City County Loyalty Day Parade is being presented by Ruth's Flowers, fresh cut balloon bouquets, serving Lancaster since 1917 at 601 South Queen Street. That's Ruth's Flowers, one of the proud sponsors of Channel 15's coverage of the Loyalty Day Parade.
Coming up here, you're about to see one of the hospitals right down the street, the St. Joseph's Hospital Caravan. Health on Wheels has been in service for a year. It's the first of its kind. 2 people in the van to operate. One's a driver, one's a nurse, but they both have to be registered nurses. This van goes to businesses, schools, churches for a fee and gives employees tests. It was just out of Park City last week. It's very cost effective because it's an outpatient procedures they do in there.
And right behind the caravan is the Nestville Fire Company, 1936 Rio C. Graves pumper, with Captain Jim Hendricks and their representative of their 45 volunteers. It's great to have the Nestville Fire Company in the parade today. They are immediately followed
by the Rohrstown
Rohrstown
Fire Company. Oh, thank you. Rohrstown Fire Company tossing some Tootsie Rolls out there.
And they have their big pumper following us along this afternoon.
The Boys and Girls Club of Lancaster, the Cadet Corps. The Boys and Girls Club provides a lot of needed services for Lancaster. It's a place for youngsters to go and have a good time, and they learn a lot too. The Boys and Girls Club is doing their expansion down there on South Duke Street, and they could use your help too.
with those big flags, and they don't seem to be having a problem at all with that wind. At times it gets pretty strong, but they're doing a great job with it today.
They sure are. Here is the Conquistadors Drum and Bugle Corps from the Boys Club. It was first started in part with the IBPOE. In 1965, with 20 to 25 people, in 1979, moved to present and active ever since. They help kids set goals, build up community morale, and give kids a place to go. Junior Drum and Bugle Corps has 55 members, ages 7 to 21. And this year they even added, as you can see, a Black Corps. The Cadet Corps encompasses girls 7 to 15. They have 30 to 5 to 40 girls, all from the Boys and Girls Club of Lancaster.
For being part of the Loyalty Day Parade today, and some of their support vehicles following up after them. Starting out this next section of the parade is the float of the Community Services of Organized Labor. Labor is a United Way agency within the labor organization. They help the public with meeting basic health and welfare needs of Lancaster. We'd like to point out that this float is also the winner of the Mayor's Trophy in today's Loyalty Day Parade. The Community Services of Organized Labor is celebrating their 25th anniversary. Tanya West is their leader. And they're closely followed by Brownie Troop 699. And they meet at Otterbein United Methodist Church on Monday nights. They've helped out with the Toys for Tots program. And this year they're going to Gettysburg Game Park and the Miniature Horse Farm. That's Brownie Troop 699 with Lois Bustle, their leader.
There's going to be a little bit of a lull in our parade as we clear the traffic through. I think.
Some of the next units in the division are coming up closer. There's a bit of time in between the parade here, so some of the traffic on Mulberry Street gets to move as it backs up throughout the city.
Three junior spectators. What are your names?
Angie Toussaint, Teresa Warner, Heather Zapp.
How are you enjoying the parade?
Good.
Do you have a favorite, anything favorite that has come by so far?
Drum and Bugle, because I used to be in it.
What about you?
I like the Batanas. I like the McCasty.
Nobody like the Philly Fanatic?
Yeah.
You like that too? Okay, we'll go back to Cliff and Jeannie.
Thank you, Brad. It's always good to hear from some of the folks watching the parade today. Still waiting for some of the next organization in the parade to come up. So at this time, we'd like to take the time to mention to you that part of Channel 15's coverage of the Loyalty Day Parade is being brought to you by Russ Flowers at 601 South Queen Street in Lancaster. They've served Lancaster since 1917 with fresh cut flowers, balloon bouquets now, and they honor all major credit cards. That's Russ Flowers, 601 South Queen Street in Lancaster, proud to bring you part of Channel 15's coverage of the City County Loyalty Day Parade. Now coming up on West Orange Street, the Raja Temple from Reading, Pennsylvania. Started in 1892, over 8,000 members in the Raja Club, and as a Berks County native, I'm quite familiar with these folks because they do a lot of work in the community, especially as part of the Shrine organization with the 19 hospitals and 3 burn centers giving children free care, no insurance accepted. You can be taken care of from birth until age 18, and if you were treated before your 18th birthday, you may continue free treatment as long after age 18 as it takes. The Shriners in Reading, of course, in October, they have the Pretzel Bowl game at Albright College. Albright each year has the Pretzel Bowl, and proceeds go to the children's hospitals and their endowment fund. The Raja Temple opening with their honor guard and the members of their organization.
They all have on the same suits and ties.
Oh, they're a very organized group, Gene. That's right. We're going to see a lot of displays from the Raja Temple here today.
And here we have the Raja Reception Committee. Looking spiffy.
Of course, if you've never been to the Raja Theater in downtown Reading, it's a magnificent facility where all sorts of cultural affairs are opened up to the community. And they've just opened their doors up to some amazing cultural events in Reading. A real credit to the city of Reading.
They got a lot of good work up there.
Yeah, they do. Their concert band is next in line. Hopefully they'll be able to put something on for us, but that again is at their discretion. We'll see what they can do for us. Here's the concert band of the Raja Temple Shrine of Reading. And we'll be back with more of the Lancaster City County Loyalty Day Parade right after these messages.
Place Faulkner Oldsmobile. The date, this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The event, the final rebate clearance sale. This is your last chance to take advantage of clearance savings and factory incentive.
Lancaster City County Loyalty Day Parade is brought to you in part by Z107.
Welcome back to the Lancaster City County Loyalty Day Parade. This is Cliff Eschbach with Gene Glennon. Brad Sutton is roaming up and down Orange Street doing interviews for us. And we're glad to have you along this evening as you're watching tonight. A beautiful day in downtown Lancaster as the remaining units of the Raja Temple of Reading pass by. And I believe Brad Sutton has someone lined up to interview, so Brad, when you're ready, go right ahead.
We're back down here on West Orange Street with Dave Newswinger. He has a fire truck. Can you tell us a little bit about this fire truck?
It was built by a New Danville Fire Company, and I brought it back in '82 and restored it.
At this point, it's just being used for parades and that type of thing?
Just parades, yes.
Well, it's great. It looks like it's in great shape.
It is, and I'm proud of it.
Good to see you.
Okay.
We'll go back to Gene and Glenn. Jeannie and back upstairs.
Thanks, Brad. Boy, how long has he been working here?
Well, it's hot out there, and the sun
That
might
is.
be getting to his brain,
That
but
is.
that's okay.
There you
It's
go.
Cliff.
That's
Thank
it.
you, Brad. Okay.
We know he knows who we are.
Coming up next in line of march of the Loyalty Day Parade, the Tall Cedars of Lebanon, the branch from Lancaster, and they have three cars, color guard. They're Tux marches, Cedarette marches. Stanley Greiner is the Grand Tall Cedar. Glad to have the Tall Cedars of Lebanon, number 27, in the Lancaster Loyalty Day Parade today. I'd like to mention that at this point in our coverage that this portion of the Lancaster Loyalty Day Parade is being brought to you by Ruff's Flowers of 601 South Queen Street in Lancaster. They've served the city of Lancaster since 1917 with fresh cut flowers. Now they have balloon bouquets. Ruff's Flowers bringing you this portion of the parade. They're located 601 South Queen Street.
And here we have the Lancaster Order of DeMolay. 60 years in Lancaster. It's a Masonic youth organization. Young men are involved from ages 13 to 21. There are 68 chapters across the state. They meet Monday nights, and here is Donna Arst, the DeMolay sweetheart selected by the boys. Here's the DeMolay Job's daughters. They all meet Sunday afternoon. The Lancaster Order of DeMolay. And here's the Visiting Nurse Home Care Association of Lancaster County, celebrating their 80th anniversary this June. It's a non-profit United Way supported, and they accept private insurance and Medicare, healthcare staff and professional nursing care and rehabilitation at your own home. They also have companions and support groups.
Thanks, Gene. Coming out right behind them, the Elizabethtown Area High School Marching Band. Let's have a listen to them. that's the combined Elizabethtown Area High School Band and the Bristol-Borough High School Marching Band from Bristol, Pennsylvania, joining in with the Elizabethtown Band for this portion of the Loyalty Day Parade. Coming up right behind the bands is another one of the trophy-winning floats in this year's parade. It's presented by the Lancaster County Knights of Columbus, and they've won the Loyalty Trophy for the best historical float. Their float has the Statue of Liberty.
I believe there's Uncle Sam waving hello.
Notice the Knights of Columbus, the members dressed in the fourth degree regalia, which is a copy of an American admiral at the turn of the century. This is the Loyalty Trophy for the best historical float in today's parade.
A lot of work went into that Statue of Liberty.
It's
They
beautiful.
did a nice job.
Beautiful statue, sure is. More members of the Knights of Columbus passing by.
That's got to be the biggest flag I've seen, at least that I can recall. All the members are carrying a little problems with the wind there.
I'd like to mention that at this portion, the Lancaster Loyalty Day Parade is being brought to you by the Wilson Driving School at 16 South Lime Street in Lancaster, the second oldest in Pennsylvania with 42 years experience. You can call them at 392-7322. That's the Wilson Driving School at 16 South Lime Street, bringing you this portion of the 20th annual Lancaster City County Loyalty Day Parade here on WLYH TV 15. Just a portion of the big crowd that's gathered along the street here from, just to give you a little bit of an idea, from our location here at West Orange and Mulberry, the reviewing stand is to our west at Ray Street and Buchanan Park, and there you'll see a lot of the groups participating as they go past the reviewing stand.
And there are some clouds running along the American Red Cross Disaster Services van. They started in 1918. They have 58 members trained in disaster services. They've helped a lot of families across Lancaster County. They have 2,000 volunteers in Lancaster, and they're always looking for more. You can call 299-5561 if you'd like to volunteer. In June, Lancaster, along with surrounding counties, will have a disaster training institute at Kutztown University. And we'd like to thank Townhouse Interiors for their support in this Loyalty Day Parade. We're stationed right in front of their building here on West Orange Street. You can always stop in to browse from Tuesday to Saturday, 9 to 5.
We'd like to thank them for their help in helping us to bring you the Loyalty Day Parade. That's Engine 5 of the Lancaster Bureau of Fire.
Just in case you didn't notice, they answer 2,500 to 3,000 calls a year. They do a lot of hard work across the city. Here's the Millersville Manor VFW Junior girls. The girls had to have fathers or grandfathers in foreign wars, and the girls are ages 6 to 16. In April, they had a conference in Greensburg, and they took first for their cancer aid and research donation, which totaled $1,000. They sold a lot of candy to reach this goal. It's the third year in a row they've won this award.
And at this time, we'd like to thank the people, Moore's Building Supply of Cleona, Pennsylvania. They're bringing you that shot right there, high in the air off the boom truck with our camera 4 and Steve Metzger, the courageous Steve up there doing the honors, bringing you those neat pictures from the boom truck. I want to thank Moore's Building Supply, West Penn Avenue, Cleona, for their help providing us those pictures today. A sunshine, windy day. I'll tell you, after 2.5 days of clouds and rain, it's nice to have this great day to bring you the Loyalty Day Parade.
New York coming up. They started in 1928, celebrating their 60th anniversary this year. If not the oldest, they're one of the oldest in the country. They had 20 members. Women weren't involved until just 10 years ago. Let's just stop and listen to the members. The Kilty Band of York has been playing at several world fairs. The West Point Military Academy, An invitational tattoo. A tattoo is a gathering of pipe and brass bands.
No, Brad did not change his clothes. Just one of these guys running around today. How you doing?
Everybody's best. My name's Bill Miller. I'm 69 years old.
Well, hello, Mr. Miller.
Page 37 years from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Have a good time.
We're back skating tonight.
Thanks.
See you later.
Support the Boys Club.
I'd like to mention to you that at this point of our coverage in the Lancaster Loyalty Day Parade, being brought to you by Wilson Driving School of 16 South Lime Street in Lancaster with 42 years experience. That's Wilson Driving School, 16 South Lime Street. Next coming up is James Rebel O'Leary. Their organization formed in 1969. They travel all across the country doing country music. From here, they go to Nashville. At the end of May, they're at the Texas Jamboree and Fanfare. So they're a traveling Rebel O'Leary show.
We have the Veterans of Foreign Wars here, Post 8757 of Mountville. Their troop marching along. Flags blowing in the wind. It is an awfully windy day out here, but as we said earlier, folks, we're not complaining because we have the sun.
Here we have some of the men from the Highmark Temple number 17. 250 of their members work with the Zembo Mosque during the annual circus each year, giving underprivileged black children, helping underprivileged black children so they can go and see the circus. They pick out a hospital and visit. They give out fruit baskets, all nonprofit work that these men do, and help to raise money to help the proceeds. They have a ball in April, and we're glad to see the Highmark Temple number 17 participating in this year's Lancaster City County Loyalty Day Parade. Down from Harrisburg, and glad to have them in the parade today. Of course, part of the Loyalty Day Parade could not have been broadcast today if it hasn't been the help of some of our sponsors, specifically one of our sponsors, Lancaster Bible College, with 55 years of ministry. At 569-7071, that's Lancaster Bible College, 55 years of providing ministry in our community.
And here we have Rowley Troop 489, 27 girls, and boy, you can tell they love to march, and they'll be marching in just a second here. They were very upset last year about this time when we were rained out, but here they do have a chance to march, and I believe we're going to go to our Brad Satin, who's about to talk to the troop leader. Brad, if you're ready.
Okay, we're back again. Thanks, Cliff and Jeannie. We're with Ellen Mills and Brownlee Troop 489. How are the kids holding up today?
Oh, so far so good.
Do we have any complaints here? How are your feet?
No.
They're holding up pretty good. How long have you been preparing for this? For the walk
Oh, no, a couple weeks. We practice.
A lot of practice.
No, a couple nights.
And little complaining, right?
Well, so far, they're pretty good.
Well,
I'm sure by the end of the march, they'll be tired.
That's great. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Back upstairs.
Thank you, Brad. Hope they have a good time in the parade.
There goes the happy marching Brownie troop. Coming up, we have the Retired Officers Association of Lancaster. They have close to 40 members, but all have to be retired officers of an armed force. They started in Lancaster in 1975, and they get together and have meetings and special speakers. Each year, awards and medals of excellence in ROTC training go to an outstanding student.
This is the float, another trophy winning afloat, the Commissioner's Trophy for the best depiction of the parade from the Christian Action Council of Lancaster. The float and their marchers, Darrell L. Lisey, is their leader. This is the Commissioner's Trophy for the best depiction of the parade. Now the Martin Mellon Middle School with their 53 members of 7th and 8th graders coming into our view right now at the Lancaster Loyalty Day Parade. They played at the Pennsylvania Music Educators Concert in Pittsburgh, and they performed at every Loyalty Day parade. So here's their 20th appearance this year.
We have the hit country tunes of WIOV. Oh, I'm sorry. We're looking at the Humane League. I'm like, there we go. IOV FM for all your hit country music.
WIOV helped out at Channel 15's broadcast of Hee Haw's 20th anniversary a couple weeks ago. As the traffic continues to move north on Mulberry Street, the parade has stopped for just a second. There you can see some of the floats that are coming up into our view right now. We have a nice crowd on hand for the Loyalty Day parade today, and why not? It's such a gorgeous day.
You know, a lot of children, and it is a parade for children.
Let's put a break. See that guy right there?
If we can get a shot here of the Humane League marching by. If you want a dog, adopt a dog. That's the best way to do it, according to the Humane League. They also hope a lot of people get their dogs spayed or neutered to cut down on the pet population, especially in Lancaster.
Dog or cat, they probably have something that, an animal that you could really give a nice home to. We'll be back with more of the Lancaster Loyalty Day Parade right after these messages.
There's only one radio station in central Pennsylvania.
City County Loyalty Day Parade is brought to you in part by Wolf Ford.
Welcome back to the Lancaster Loyalty Day Parade from Mulberry and West Orange Streets. This is Cliff Eschbach with Gene Glennon and Brad Sadden roving up and down the street, doing interviews for us. Picking up in a little bit, you'll see the U.S. Coast Guard Flotilla 1401. There they are right there with two boats on there. Joseph C. Phillips in charge of the U.S. Coast Guard Flotilla 1401.
We have the Lancaster County Corvette Club. It's their 10th anniversary. Jeff Shirk's the president. They have 55 members, and needless to say, they all have Corvettes. They have fundraisers. The proceeds go to Spina Bifida.
And they have the year of the car. You can probably see it in the corner, the year of each car, and each year goes back, gets a little bit older. And the real classics are coming up in a second. We'd like to remind you that this portion of Channel 15's coverage of the Loyalty Day Parade is sponsored by the Wilson Driving School, 16 South Lime Street in Lancaster at 392-7322. They are the second oldest driving school in Pennsylvania with 42 years experience. That's the Wilson Driving School at 16 South Lime Street. We'd like to thank them for being one of the sponsors of the Loyalty Day Parade.
And if you're lucky, after you graduate from Wilson Driving School, you could get your hands on a Corvette like this. There are some beautiful ones. Look at the old Stingray, the 1973.
You're making up your Christmas list already, aren't you?
Just think about it. In 1964, the year I was born, and look at the muffler on that.
Oh, really? Don't make me feel old, will you?
Sorry about that, Cliff.
Wow. Yeah, they have some nice looking cars, that's for sure. And a lot of the spectators here are taking nice long looks at the Corvettes as they go by.
What's this Volvo doing in the middle of these Corvettes?
That's a good question. As we wait for the next units to come up here in the parade, we'd like to mention once again Ruff's Flowers at 601 South Queen Street for providing a portion of the coverage of today's parade. They have served Lancaster since 1917 with fresh-cut flowers. Now they have balloon bouquets. They are at 601 South Queen Street in Lancaster, Ruff's Flowers, and we thank them for sponsoring this portion of the Loyalty Day Parade.
And what a better time.
And of course, another one of the sponsors of the parade, WRKZ 107 FM Radio in Hershey. Z Country and Z Bear providing fun also for people here at the Loyalty Day Parade. That's old Z Bear waving away on top of the fire truck, WRKZ 107 in Hershey.
Here's the Penn Loyal Girl Scout troop. I think they just opened their office down in downtown Lancaster a few months ago.
Following the girls is the Salvation Army of Lancaster. They have 3 vehicles and a small band right there.
They have adult rehabilitation programs and alcohol rehab programs. They're meeting today's needs today.
Of course, the Salvation Army mobile canteen you see at many of the disaster areas, the fire scenes, providing warm drinks, good food to the firefighters and emergency workers at some of the major fires around the area, and they do a terrific job. And I know the firefighters appreciate it as well.
Okay, 4.5 minutes for that.
Right behind the Salvation Army are veterans of the Vietnam War, post number 30 of Lancaster. Their color guard and their float is following as well. Their float draws attention to the plight of the POWs and the MIAs, the plight that many Vietnam vets and many people here in the community need to remember, the POWs and the MIAs. You see their float consists of a bamboo prison with the POW MIA flag attached to it, providing us with an issue that all of us need to keep in mind as we go about our daily lives in the community.
Some of these men were just 18 years old when they went over there.
Yep. Now, we were talking about Z-Bear a little while ago. There he is, kind of
strutting
stuff up Orange Street here. I'll tell you, these mascots, starting with the Philly Fanatic throughout the whole parade.
Sleepy Bear.
Sleepy Bear, yeah. The kids just have a great time watching them. You see their eyes peek up as these guys come by. Here's the Daisy Girl Scouts, Troop 1288, from Hambright Elementary School.
Dressed in their Loyalty Day red, white, and blue.
That's right.
You know, red baby carriers to tote the tiniest Daisy Girl Scout.
The United States Air Force also represented. They have 35 of these mini jets around the area. This one is painted in the colors of the Thunderbirds that you see a lot of the air shows around the region. And it's the United States Air Force and their mini jet moving down through the Loyalty Day Parade.
What a crowd out here for today's parade.
Yeah, it's a terrific day. Remember last year when General Scott was to be the honorary Grand Marshal and the parade was postponed, General Scott is down at the reviewing stand to the west of our location, and he'll be joined there by this year's honorary Grand Marshal, the retiring state representative June Hahnemann.
You know, we have the Z-Bear coming up here, and right behind, I believe, it's a big chicken.
It is a big chicken. It's a Long's Park chicken barbecue.
It's a barbecue.
Of course.
That's what it is. It looks like I don't know if I'd be too happy if I were that chicken if they're going to be roasting that many of them this year.
They always do a lot. Yep, they're getting ready for this year's barbecue, May 21st, 35 years.
And it's supposed to be the biggest one ever.
I wouldn't be surprised. We'd like to thank you for watching the Loyalty Day Parade. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Lancaster Bible College, Wilson Driving School, Ruff's Flowers, Cindy School of Baton, the folks at Townhouse Interiors, and of course Moore's Building Supply for the boom truck. They've provided us with a lot of help for this year's Loyalty Day Parade, and we thank you very much for their help. We thank you for watching today. We hope you had a good time in watching this portion of the Loyalty Day Parade. So for Gene and Brad are out in the streets, thanks a lot for sitting with me today, Gene. We had a good time.
We did have a good time. We hope all you folks at home enjoyed yourselves as much as we did here, and as much as everybody lined up along the streets watching the parade did.
Thanks again for watching. We'll see you somewhere down the road, hopefully at next year's Loyalty Day Parade. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant rest of this evening.
We hope you've enjoyed the Lancaster City County Loyalty Day Parade on WLYH-TV. Brought to you by Wolf Ford. We won't be beaten by any Ford dealer in the area. And WRKZ, Z107, FM 106.7 on your dial. Your 4-in-a-row country music station.